Hey everyone, welcome to Team Tenacity's weekly call. We're really excited tonight. We have a special guest, but I'm not going to introduce her. I want Michelle to. And I got a little emotional when I was thinking about Michelle, so I just want to say something that we never know who God is going to put in our paths. And what if I hadn't have been teaching a Bible study, and what if I wouldn't have met this incredible woman who obviously loved God and loved her family. And the thing I was thinking about that I wanted to make sure you all know is that don't pre-qualify people, because this woman had such a full life. I never would have shared the business with her. Never. I wouldn't want to put one more thing on her plate. She was a men's basketball coach's wife. And I don't know if any of you know, but that's kind of a part-time, if not a full-time job, because you're expected to be at a lot of things, and especially during March, right? And then she also had two serious swimmers, and that was a full-time job, getting her almost teenage swimmer daughters. And then she had a 1-year-old, if that wasn't enough. And so when we met at the park to get her signed up on Juice Plus and we were doing a play date, I just asked her questions. And I found out she was getting ready to go to do just a part-time job. That's when I said, well, hey, I don't know if what I have would be interesting for you, but you could stay with your family. And the rest is history. But I'm so grateful that I met her, and you've just really enriched my life. And with that, I would love for you to introduce and say whatever you want to say, and then introduce our speaker.
Thank you, Sandy. And I would say that you've really enriched my life, because you shared this amazing mission, and we've been able to build on a relationship rather than me moving away and just trying to maintain a relationship. Two very different things. So, and you also stuck with me, because I wasn't just an easy yes either, if I remember right. It's kind of like, huh? I don't know. But so we got to stick with people. Anyway, I'm so excited. Like, it's been a crazy few weeks for me, but when I found out Heidi was going to be on here, I was like, definitely got time for this, and have honestly been so excited all day long, because I'll read a little bit about her, but the biggest thing is she is a dear friend. I met her, and then before you knew it, she was inviting my husband and myself to stay with her. And then Aubrey and I have stayed with her. I mean, she is has the biggest heart and is just so open. And, we're not tied to each other directly on a team. We're like cousins on a team. And I think that just says so much about what we're a part of, because it's just the world outside of this just isn't like that. You've got to hold on to your own, and you've got to be careful about letting others in. And we're just the opposite. So anyway, we get to hear from Heidi Biggs, my bestie. And she lives in Carpinteria, California, which is an absolutely awesome place to live, with her husband, Lloyd, who is also awesome. She has this big bushy cat named Zico, and he's definitely their boy. He's a little hard for outsiders to get to know, but he's beautiful. She believes she has the best of both worlds, and she's right, as she's an experienced hairstylist that helps men and women look amazing on the outside, and then spreading the gift of health and helping our nation look good on the inside. Isn't that great? Heidi and her husband Lloyd fast-tracked to senior sales coordinator really quickly, and loves the fact that because of their success, she is now able to only work part-time at the salon, and she is on her way to QNMD. She's found that personal development is just one of the biggest things in her journey and empowering her growth, as well as the growth of her business. So I will let you take it away, Heidi.
Thank you, Michelle.
You're welcome.
Thank you. I'm just so blessed. I'll never forget the day I met you. And I mean, seriously, it was like sparks, instant connection. It was pretty amazing. And you're a real light in my life. And I'm forever grateful for our friendship. And the same goes for you, Sandy, too. Whenever we're together, it's like, just pick up exactly where we left off. And I'm really thankful for being on this call tonight. So a little bit about me. I kind of like Michelle was not quick to join this business. I was not quick to even take Juice Plus. My husband was surfing one day on the Pacific Ocean and saw this guy with white hair surfing every single wave. And he just could not believe that none of the 30-year-olds or 40-year-olds, himself included, could keep up with him. So when he did finally catch up with him, he asked him what his secret was. And he said that it was Juice Plus, and that he, at that point, had been taking it for almost 25 years. So with the brilliant open mind that my husband Lloyd had, he's a soccer coach, he wanted to know more. And when Chris told him exactly what Juice Plus was, he knew that he needed this for his kids. He knew that the kids that he coached, they needed something to help them with their recovery and with their performance. And so he instantly decided, okay, I'm trying this, and was so excited to come home and share that with me. And I shut him down. I just thought it was one of those things. And I looked at the list of ingredients, and I have a fructose malabsorption that causes digestive distress. And so I looked at the fruits and vegetables, and I saw a huge list of what I couldn't eat. And I'm like, are you crazy? Why do you want to give me something that's going to hurt my tummy? So then turns out that Chris is actually our neighbor. Chris Cotton was that guy that he met on the wave, and Chris and Nikki are our neighbors, and we struck up a really great friendship. And they were invited. My husband became a distributor because it just made sense to him. But I was still like, no thanks. I'm not doing it. I'll come and support you, but don't ask me to try it, or because I'm just not doing it. Even though I did not know what one of those things was. I had no idea what a pyramid was. Because of what my parents had told me and what I'd heard in the past, I thought it was a bad thing. Little did I know that it would change my life. So Chris and Nikki kept loving on me and shining on me. And eventually after seeing Dr. David Phillips and Dr. Du Bois, it clicked. I got it. I understood that this could help, but I was just really nervous about trying it. So after, like I said, Chris and Nikki shining on me, I decided I would try it. And eventually, after being able to take all of the capsules, it was a life changer for me. I went from being constipated for 43 years, going to the bathroom maybe 2 to 3 times a week. I went to going every single day, sometimes 2 to 3 times a day. And it just changed my life. I just could not believe it would be that profound. But what was incredible was a few months after that, when I went for my second dental implant, and the dentist normally for the first one, he used 3 drills. For the second one, he used a 4th drill. And when I asked him what that was for, he said it was specifically for dense bone. And that's when I was just like, whoa, like it has to be Juice Plus, because there was nothing else that I changed. Nothing else was different between then and the year prior to having the first implant. And that's when I knew that incredible things were going on inside my body that I couldn't see, just the same as you can't see the bad stuff that goes on in your body, until it's too late. So I was sharing with all my clients at the hair salon. Before you know it, my husband's reached another level and then another level. And like Michelle said, we fast-tracked to senior sales coordinator, and we are on our way to QNMD. And we've just got such incredible momentum in our business right now. And that's one of the reasons why I'm here sharing with you tonight, because I want to share some of my secrets, some of the things that I feel are really, really important for building momentum in your business and keeping that excitement alive. And I have come up with a kind of a little training that I call the trifecta. And they are the 3 things that I feel that are really, really important. And the first one that I feel is super important, especially when you're running out of warm market. And you need to kind of tap more into your cold market. And that is the 3-foot rule. Now, some of you may have heard of that before. Some of you, it may be new. What that means is that you're going to be talking to whoever's within a 3-foot radius, wherever that is. You know, you look around you, you look over your shoulder, you're looking, if you're in the grocery store, if you're at the mall, if you're at a party, you know, whatever that looks like, within that 3-foot radius, you're looking at people around you. And for me, I always feel in my heart space. That's the first thing. When I'm in my head space, it doesn't serve anybody. Always come from the heart, and I feel, who am I energetically drawn towards? Or is there something that I'm noticing about the person around me that is attractive? So that could look like the lady in the grocery store who's got a beautiful big bunch of bananas, or a big, you know, load of grapes in her cart, or on the conveyor belt, you know, she's paying for it. And you could strike up a conversation and say, oh, what is your favorite fruit? You know, asking questions and striking up a conversation, and then moving that conversation, becoming a friend, building a relationship, to then becoming a customer or a distributor. The one thing, though, to be mindful of is to not be attached to that outcome. Really come from a space of your heart, knowing that you're loving and you're shining on them, and it's really all about them and how can you impact this person with the gift that we have for health. Another example could be, where was I? Oh my gosh, I was in the mall and I saw this girl. She had the cutest pair of shoes. And I asked her where she got those shoes from. And did they have any more? What size was she? I love, you know, we had this whole conversation about shoes. Then she complimented me on something that I had. Before you know it, she wasn't open to giving me her telephone number. And some people are. This girl wasn't, but she was totally open to being friends on Facebook. So then we built a relationship on Facebook. She's now a customer who has the Trio and the Omegas. It's just that simple. But as long as you come from your heart and you understand it's not about you, don't be attached to the outcome. Just be bold and ask questions. And then you have the answers, and it's the feel, felt, found, right? You know how you feel. I know how you feel. I felt the same way. What I found was going back to the Eric Worre, and that's how you can really feel the need for what they have. The second part for me is 3-way calls. They're so important, guys. That third-party validation is everything. Now, how do you invite for a 3-way call? You know what I found the easiest for me is there in the moment. When you're making those empowerment calls, when you've spoken to that person, they wanted the information, you're asking them what they liked best. Even when you're doing your customer care calls and you're hearing the amazing experiences that your customers are having, those raving fan customers, asking them there and then if they have any more questions. And if they don't have any more questions, then just keep asking them more questions. But if they do, ask them there and then if they're open to speaking with your upline. One of the tricks that I found that really works for me lately is, and I did this just yesterday, I was doing an empowerment call. I did an event with Nikki Cotton on Friday night, and I had this really cool lead. This guy was just really looking for something that was more purposeful. He's really into health and nutrition. Like, he ticked every single box. So I sent him some information, following the duplicatable system. I sent him some information, asked him the best time that would be to call him. And I called him yesterday, and we had this great conversation. He loved everything that he saw and asked me what the next step was. And I said, well, are there any more questions that you have for me? And he said, actually, yeah, there is one. I said, well, before I answer it and before I hear your question, would you mind getting on the phone with my upline and my mentor? Because he's been in the industry for 27 years. He has all the answers to the questions. Now, I may have been able to answer that question for him, but I like to play the village idiot and pretend that I don't, because we don't want to be the expert, right? We need that third-party validation for them to just reinforce exactly what you've already told them, but from a different voice in a different way. So he was so open to getting Chris on the phone. So immediately, right there and then, I'd literally been talking to this guy for maybe 4 minutes. And Chris got on the phone and we had this incredible 3-way call. I have another call with him tonight and I'm going to be signing him up as my newest distributor. So then we go on to the third part of what I consider to be the most incredible part of really building momentum in our business. And that's the education that we get with events. And I'm talking major events, big events, like conference. There is no bigger event than conference. We have 2 a year, guys, 2. We're so lucky. Most companies, they get 1. And they're lucky if they get like 2, maybe 3 major speakers that make sense. We have a plethora of speakers that are just so freaking incredible. We have 8,000 people that are the most healthy, happy, energetic, positive people you're ever going to meet in your life. You're building relationships with those people, but more importantly, you're getting that education from, guess what, the third party. You're hearing it from this next conference in Phoenix, Arizona. The main speakers on Thursday night are Dr. Mitra Ray and Dr. Du Bois. I mean, you can't get any better than that. But one of the main reasons why we need to get to conference is why. If you want to get to NMD, you want to get to the next level in your promotion, there's no NMD on this call that didn't go to conference. And if you don't go to conference, what happens? You're going to set yourself back by at least 6 months in your business. I've not missed a conference. There was a time when I first came in, I had a health challenge and I was really sick. I had nausea 24/7, pain 24/7. Guess what? I still got on that plane to Nashville and I had to sit in a really awkward position to help me with my pain and help me with my nausea. But I was there. I was there through the whole trainings. 6 months later, next conference, I'm recovering from surgery. Guess what? I was there. I got on that plane and I was in Phoenix, Arizona. Oh my gosh, I forgot it was Phoenix. That was so cool. So there's 3 major events that you really want to be getting to, as well as having those minor events and setting up your own events. So that's 2 conferences a year and a boot camp. Now what boot camps do we have? I'm just going to name 3 off the top of my head. Branson boot camp. Peachtree, Las Vegas. I love the Las Vegas one. Lauren Schlockenhab does an incredible job. So amazing. So they're the 3 events that you really want to get to. Have you set that on your calendar? Is it there? And then you've got the little events, the regional events that you have in your area. The smaller events, the soup swaps, the ramen in a jar, the soup salad in a jar, all those events count. And then we have our one-on-one events that we have a meeting every single day when we're doing that 3-foot rule, 3-foot rule, when we're talking to people on social media. And that, I want to go back to the 3-foot rule. Actually, you don't have to actually do that in person all the time. You can be doing that on social media. I was looking at people I wanted to invite to Indianapolis. And I didn't really have any friends in Indianapolis. I don't know anyone. But I looked on social media, I looked on Facebook, and I actually put in the search bar, friends of friends in Indianapolis. And all these people came up. And there's certain people that I was really drawn to. So I, kind of threw spaghetti on the wall and, reached out to them and asked them, if they would be open to coming to an incredible health, wellness, and empowerment conference. And some I didn't hear back from, some I did, but there was this one girl energetically in my heart I felt her. And instantly she wanted to know more. And within 30 minutes, we were on a call. Guess what? That girl came to conference. She came to Indianapolis. So you just never know who you're going to touch, who's going to really want to hear what we have. So you just got to really be bold, get out there. And, one of the things that really, what I want to end with, and one of the quotes that I've heard that really sticks in my mind, and that's from Chris Cotton, actually, and his definition of residual income. And that is the capacity to be paid for the rest of your life on your next conversation. So I want to ask yourselves, who are you going to shine on next? Who are you going to love on? And who you're going to impact with the gift that we have. Thank you. Back to you, Sandy and Michelle.
Sorry, just needed to unmute. Ah! So good, Heidi. Thank you so much. I love how clearly and concisely, yet so passionately, you covered such, truly just valuable, duplicatable things that anyone can do if they really want to create momentum. So the 3-foot rule, the 3-way calls, and the events, you shared great examples of that. And I know you, and I know that you do these things consistently. But how do you get to a place where you're just automatically doing those things, no matter what life is throwing at you, no matter what comes your way? Like, there has to be a little bit more from getting, from
it's energy.
energy.
For me, it's energy, and hearing the stories. When you're doing those empowerment calls, which for those of you that don't know what an empowerment call is, that's basically a customer care call or a follow-up call. Mm-hmm. So when you, for example, if you're doing, just doing an empowerment call with a customer, and you're hearing the experience that they're having, just remembering those experiences, how can you stop? How can you stop when you're hearing? I just heard from one of my team members, and I'd been shining on a friend of mine for 2.5 years, and finally she contacted me. She was ready, but I never gave up on her. I just kept loving on her and shining on her, and just, some people call that dripping. We've changed our language a bit to shining and loving, and it's just that rings to me so much more. But just remembering that. And so I did that with this girl, and she then loved and shined on one of her coworkers because their whole family had been really, really sick. And then to hear within 4 days, the youngest son, the baby, who had been on 3 different inhalers for months, sometimes 5 to 6 times a night, this girl was giving her son breathing treatments. And within 4 days, he was on 0 inhalers.
Wow, 4 days.
We were all crying. This girl was crying. I was crying. My friend was crying. It was so powerful. How can you stop? When you're impacting people in that way, I just remember those stories, and that's what keeps me going. Plus, pouring into myself and bettering myself with personal growth and personal development, and keeping my mindset strong, so that even when I do get hit with life, and trust me, guys, I've had a lot of hits. I live in Carpinteria. We had the fires in December. We were evacuated. Then the mudslides happen. We were evacuated. Every time it rains, we get evacuated. My father's super sick in the UK. I've had my health challenges. You cannot stop. You've got to keep going, because when you stop, you can pour in yourself and give yourself all that personal development, but then you make it about that other person and take what you've learned and how you've grown yourself and then put that on someone else and make it about them. That's the game changer for me.
That's awesome. So I know that you've been able to cut down on the amount of time you spend in the salon, but you built to SSC while working full time, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So if somebody says, I just really don't have a lot of time, I'm just really, I'm just so busy. How do you shine on that?
I understand. I really do. But when your why for doing it is big enough, you'll do anything.
Right.
You'll do anything it takes. So for me, I get up in the morning, I have my like miracle morning, I have my self-care, my meditation, my exercise, affirmations. That's my morning. It's very sacred to me. And then I, get myself ready for work, but I may have time, just a few minutes, to throw in a social media post or to send out a couple of text messages if I'm inviting to an event. So that'll be one little thing I'll do there. Then I'll get to the salon, and I'm at the salon. There's been times when it's great. I take my computer with me and I'll just message people. I'm talking to my clients. I'm talking to my coworkers. I talk to their clients. So that's an advantage for me, because when you're getting your hair done, those people can't go anywhere. So, I just love and shine on people all day long at the salon. But then I have some clients that, during the mudslides, I literally was just kind of like a counselor, like a therapist to them. And I couldn't work my business so much. So I would just excuse myself. And if I went to the bathroom, I'd take my phone with me. I know that can be gross to a lot of you, but that was the time when I was like, literally, would make use of every little second that I had to just send a message or, text message or, social media message. And then the calls, I would do them in the evening when I, got home from the salon. And the Zoom calls, the training calls that we have, the business builder call, our team call on Tuesday, other calls, the Take Healthy Back call, I'm on all of them all the time. And then, just in the stolen moments, you got to do it when you can. And days that you do get when you have more time, schedule it. Schedule that hour to 2 hours, whatever that looks like. Sometimes you can get more done in a 30-minute slot with no distractions than you can in 2 hours where you're distracting yourself. An alarm goes off and, or you're baking or doing anything to distract from what you really need to be doing. So,
right.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, so you shared some fun stuff about events. I'd like to just trying to think of a good question to just kind of leave this on. So is there something so events, yes, you get built up, you get to meet a lot of people, it builds your belief, all different levels. Once you hear it, once you've gone to any event, you automatically start wanting other people there. People are coming into your mind. We have calls. We talked about all of this, like stuff to write down. But can you think of something that, because you said yes, even though it took you a while, whether it be about the mission or whether it be about the product, just something, and I know there's probably lots of things, that maybe none of us would really know or think about, but that if you never had that experience or whatever that is, you just maybe wouldn't be the same. Like you can't imagine that would have never happened in your life. Kind of a big question, but something really, it could be crazy. It could be serious.
So public speaking.
There you go.
Public speaking. When I see those NMDs sharing their heart on stage, I don't know what it was that first time I went to conference, even though I was like so sick, I wanted it. Yeah. I wanted to be that. I saw the big picture. When I saw that amount of people, I saw how many lives could be impacted. I got the big picture. I was just kind of thinking small, like my small little circle of clients, but then I saw the big picture, and seeing those NMDs on stage was just so incredibly powerful for me. And I have to tell you, when I don't know if you guys even know this, but when I first started being involved with Juice Plus and getting on these calls, I would be that person that would sit back and just listen. I never put my hand up. I can remember Nikki doing the first event and wanting me to share my story. And I was like quaking. Like I was literally, my whole body was shaking in my own living room around people I know and I love. And I was shaking like crazy. It was so stupid. I think that now, but at the time it wasn't. It was legitimate.
Right.
And being on these Zoom calls, I can remember being invited when I reached SC, being invited to a special call, SSC and beyond, and being asked to do a training. And even just when Nikki would ask questions and she would say, okay, anyone else put their hand up? Heidi, you haven't spoken. It was like tongue-tied. Fear just enveloped me. But I found going to Toastmasters really helped with that. So if anyone else is really afraid, deathly afraid, like I was, of speaking in public, now I center myself, feel grounded, and come from my heart. And
that's awesome.
I can't wait to be walking that stage as an NMD.
Wow. And I mean, who listening to this would think, oh, she had major fear of public speaking when she just spoke so well, and it does show that it just comes so from your heart. And I just like to hear something, that maybe wasn't planned to share, because really, you guys, anything is truly possible. I believe that with taking the product or just being a part of this, anything is possible. And it may be something that you don't even know yet, but it's going to happen to you. It's going to take over, and you're going to just be an even better version of yourself. So anyway, thank you, Heidi. Does anyone else have any questions?
Well, while they're unmuting themselves, I want to say what I loved is that what you talked about, not being the expert, that we don't want to be the expert. And when they ask a question, to say, that's a really good question. Or before you ask the question, I love that. Before they ask it, can I get my mentor on the phone? I love that, because it just kind of opens things up. Now they're not feeling, I don't know, they're not feeling like you're getting a closer on. You're getting someone that can help them. And I just love that. I loved all of this. You did a great job.
Thank you. I just want to say, with asking for the three-way call and asking your mentor to get on the phone, I've been doing that a lot, and I've had only one person say, not today, but can we make it for another time?
Yeah.
So when you're in that moment and they're really, open to hearing more and sharing or whatever, it's a good call. It doesn't all, and then not everyone's always available, but I always say, I can only get a good energetic feeling of how this is going to go, because you kind of know, especially if you've spoken to them once, right, that whether they're excited or, want to know more. And so I always kind of shoot a little text. Are you free to talk in a couple minutes?
Yeah.
So far, so good.
Yeah.
Well, I know Michelle and I have both been with you when you like out to eat, when you have talked to people, and no strangers.
I talk to everyone. I have to say, guys, this is a really good trick. When you're on the plane and you're going to conference, I never sit next to my friends. I had a new team member come to the Las Vegas boot camp, and she's like, what seat are you sitting in? I said, you can't sit next to me. I'm sorry. It's a rule. I don't even sit next to my husband. He can sit in an aisle seat, and I'll sit in an aisle seat. But I want to be sitting next to, strangers that I don't know. And it doesn't, they may not be ready for Juice Plus right away. They may not be ready to hear anything, but you've got a new friend at least. Mm-hmm. I've got friends all over the country, and it's just so much fun.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Anybody else?
So I want to say something to Heidi's telling her people to not sit by her on the plane. Heidi actually did that to me. And I said, you're not going to sit by me? And she said, no. And that was the best training Heidi has ever given me, because from that trip alone, I picked up 2 customers on the plane.
Yep.
So thanks to Heidi Biggs for that trick. Everyone should use it.
Alexa, so you've been to a Juice Plus conference and you are coming to one even though you haven't even been able to walk when you've been recovering, no what's that called? No weight bearing. And you're just now able to walk and you're coming to conference. Can you just give us just a word of why it's so important to you to get there?
Yeah, absolutely. So when I came to conference for my first time, I had just joined Juice Plus 2 weeks before. And Heidi and Chris and Nikki and everyone just convinced me that I must go. So I thought, why not? Let's just try it. And when I went, I will tell you that I don't think I would still, I believe that I would still be part of this culture. I just don't believe I would be as involved. At conference, it really showed me how unique this business is, how much of an amazing culture we have. I was amazed that there was 8,000 people who were like me, ecstatic about health and wellness and sharing our mission. And it really gave me energy and momentum after conference. I think after conference, I fast-tracked to VF within under 30 days, right? Yeah, it was under 30 days. I was selling shreds. I was excited. I gained 2 customers off the plane. And then it just carried. And I think even now, just seeing the amazing company we have, staying connected with, other teams and sideline buddies, that conference wasn't even a question in my mind. Like I've told everyone, I've just been healing fast so that I can get to conference fast. So.
I love that. That's awesome. So this girl does have nuts and bolts in her ankle. It wasn't just a regular break. This was an extreme one.
I have lots of nuts and bolts, but now I have a bionic ankle, so it's good.
There you go.
Awesome. I have one of those too. We'll have to compare scars.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, thank you, Michelle. Do you have anything else? We'll just wrap up.
No, just mwah. Thank you so much. And thank all of you guys that got on today, and make sure that you share the recording when we post it with your team, and put a few notes on our team page about it and share your excitement. I know it's spring break around here, and so a lot of people are off their schedule, but that's okay. Lots of people will hear this call.
Wow.
We have that share away. So
we love you, Heidi. Thank you so much for sharing.
So much.
And well, like Heidi said, it is not too late to go ahead and get your ticket and get to conference. You will be so happy you did, and we're planning lots of fun stuff.
We have a big house that we're staying in.
With the pool.
I'm bringing my bathing suit. I'm coming over. I'll bring the bubbly.
Yes.
Right on over.
And you too, Alexis.
Yes, I'm excited.
Yeah. Okay, everyone unmute and say goodbye to Heidi and tell her thanks, and let's show her our energy.
Thanks, Heidi.
Yay!
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye, everyone.
Sorry. Bye. I'm glad you got on, Lori. Yay.
Yay.
He's HH Greg, but Lori's brand new.
Oh, yay. Welcome.
I'm here. Sorry.
I know you were using
I was trying to cook while I was listening.
Awesome. That's commitment.
Autumn was on earlier, our newly guest. I was wanting
No,
to.
she's just back from her honeymoon.
She is back?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
I know. So excited.
Well, thanks, everyone. We love you. And when you see Heather, her little box here, when you see her at convention, at conference, she will have already moved to Kentucky.
To where?
Kentucky. So she will be pretty close to you. Heather,
Oh, yeah.
where you'll be? Paris. She'll be in Paris, Kentucky.
I'll have to look where that is.
I think we should all meet at Branson in June.
No, the next gen in July. The next gen boot camp in July is the best. Chris and Nikki Cotton are in it.
Oh, and it's in Tennessee?
In Nashville, yes. Sorry.
Yes.
I think I'm coming.
Yes,
Yay.
that would be a really good one, Sandy.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah, sure. I've mentioned it to Corinne too,
you.
and Lori will be here. Yeah.
Yay! Can't wait to get to know you more, Lori.
Yay.
All right. Have
Okay.
a good
My
night.
boxer's very happy too. I clapped and she danced.
You're cooking up a good supper too, I can tell.
It's a lemony chicken scampi.
Yum. Sounds super yummy. Well, good deal. Okay, well we'll get you lunch soon, and we'll get you connected with Sandy so you'll get to know her, Lori.
Yay. Okay.
Awesome.
Bye, everyone.